Hello everyone, this is Sam. In today's video we're going to be talking about the events that have shaken the Guild Wars 2 community over the past week, that is to say the Mountgate scandal. I was personally away last week when the patch happened and that it hit the gem store, but I have been taking the time to read Reddit, catch up on everything that has happened, and I want to make a reaction video of my own because I believe that I have an opinion which hasn't been represented enough on the debate that we can see on Reddit, the forums, or anywhere else. Personally, first of all, I would like to say that I think that the uproar is only mildly deserved. People need to realize that ArenaNet, before being a game creation studio and before being people who are mostly driven by their passion, is also a company with shareholders, with employees, a lot of stuff to organize that is financially heavy to run. And you guys also need to realize that the money they get is mostly based on the gemstore sales, because people are gonna buy the box once. Like, you're gonna buy your core game, if you did back in the days that was 50 euros, you buy Heart of Thorns, that's another 50, then you buy Path of Fire, that's 30. You spent 130 euros. That's literally a day of pay for a dev. That's even less than a day of pay. So you need to realize that the money they get mostly comes from people spending money on other stuff than just the box, and that stuff is the gem store, hence why they actually put so much effort into developing stuff for the gem store, because there is no subscription fee system. Now we can also look at the fact that ArenaNet has had quite a few issues when it comes to making money after the launch of the game. Heart of Thorns revitalized the sales of Guild Wars 2, but they have been seeing a decline ever since then, and Path of Fire barely managed to make a dent into what was the original spike at the sales of the game. Now, I am not saying that the way they pushed out gemstore content has been done well or not. You guys need to realize as well that most of the people out there are going to be free to play. Once you buy the game, you're done. Only a few people are going to be whaling or spending money regularly, and these people are basically the bread and butter of ArenaNet, because that's the money that they get at the end of the month. And ArenaNet needs to push out content that these people will be buying into. Now the issue is that this was actually the only content that we had. They have been putting what truly makes the endgame of Guild Wars 2 nowadays, which is the Fashion Wars 2, behind a gacha box or a loot box. The thing about it is that even though you cannot get duplicate, which is in itself a very good system and I'm truly thankful to them for that, is the fact that it is not truly a gamble out of which you can get something. It's not like a Mystic Forge, it's not like Tartoon where you can put money in and hopefully get more money out. This is something that you buy, unlock, and you're done, which is akin to all the gacha systems that you can find in mobile games such as Fire Emblem and Fate Go, for example, where you just roll, you get something out of it, and that something is just not going to be something that you can resell, it's not going to be a higher value, it's not something that you earn for yourself. It's not like when you go to a casino, put $100 on the roulette and actually walk out with 1,000. That's definitely not the case. So this is not something that would qualify to be proper gambling, and also we can look at the fact that you can buy these with in-game currency to justify it not being gambling. That's actually how the companies protect themselves against the law, and it is something that has been done throughout the years. So we can't really hold them accountable for it. Now, the other main issue that I wanted to go about is that the skins for the mount that were given to us mostly hit us hard in the feelings because there is nothing else to go for. The last time we got legendaries was ages ago, this summer. The price of many of the top tier skins such as the jetpack, the Molten Jetpack, the Halloween skins of the first Halloween, etc. have been driven down due to the decisions of the new economist at ArenaNet since John Smith left. And that person has decided to crush down the price of the very expensive items, which means that you have no long-term goal. You have nothing to work forward to. Like, once you're done with the legendaries you wanted, there is nothing else to go for. It's just 100 gold now, a few hundred gold at most. So we are in a situation where people will spend their money on the next good cosmetic, and that was the mount package, and that's why it really hit home in the fields. That's the last thing. We have had a lot of other loot boxes in Guild Wars 2. We have the Black Lion chest, we have the die packs even, but every time there is always the possibility of getting that one ultra rare item out of them that you can resell for much higher value, which is gonna, you know, cancel all the money you've spent before. That's the way you think. That's gambler's fallacy, and it's really bad and you really shouldn't do that. But that's something you're not going to get for the mounts because you cannot resell them. So either you unlock the ones that you want from the get-go and you sort of won the gamble, or you just take ages to unlock the one that you truly wanted, and then you're left sorry with nothing to prove the sacrifice you've done. And that's truly the issue for me, at least with these mount boxes, and the only issue I have with them is that it is truly a bad gacha, and gacha is bad civilization. Now, a good way to have fixed that would have been to make a 2k gem pack where an ultra rare mount was guaranteed, for example, so that you would, like, you know, roll for it and at least get one of the few you might have wanted if you were truly shooting for these. That would have been a good idea, because you can literally get all of the ultra rare ones at the end, which truly means you have shitty RNG, but you know, your problem. And the other point that would have probably fixed the situation for most of the players would have been to make them sellable, so that, you know, if you guys roll and the most expensive mounts get sold for 1k gold on trading post, and then they're happy, you know, just like we are doing with the die packs at the moment. This could have been exactly the same, and ArenaNet would have dealt with the situation quite well by having done that. It's just that I think they really wanted to secure some revenue, and releasing all of the mounts at once and in the format they did truly didn't help for that situation. Even though I think that the message left by Mike O'Brien on the forums was actually pretty well thought out. If you actually read the message, you can see that he's talking about the commitment made at the start of GW2 that they would fund the game through microtransactions. Well, that's exactly what they are doing, even though at the moment we can kind of doubt the fact that they call it microtransactions, because in my opinion, the moment it becomes €5 to do one roll, it gets a bit expensive. Like, that's also the price that you would pay in other games, like mobile games, or even something like €30 for a proper roll that has a chance at a super rare item. And if you pay €120 to be able to unlock everything, that's kind of sad, you know, because €5, I don't know if anyone here truly realizes what €5 is, but as an employee in a big company, my lunch is €3.50. Like, €5 is more than one lunch for me, and putting €5 for a chance to get a skin that may be a lie is not something I feel right doing, because these €5 could be spent better. And I think that is also one thing that the ArenaNet could have thought about, maybe a different pricing point for the mounts. So these were all the points that I wanted to push out for this subject, the Mountgate scandal. So hopefully I didn't say stuff that had already been told by others, and this is the most important point probably of the entirety of the scandal. It is never alright, whatever thing is done to you, or at least you think personally to you, by a game developer when they create some assets and then the marketers sell them in a specific way. There is no way you can be right when you wish upon them to lose their job. That's something you should never do, because we're talking about some people's livelihood there. It's their families, it's the money that they need to live, and you're basically shitting at that by saying that you wish they would lose it.